run the concessions at the soccer complex in our town. On our menu, I have a jumbo beef dog, which is a 1/4 pound beef dog, and then there's the kitty dog, which is a small, regular hot dog that was meant for kids. And it's only $1, so that the kids can afford it. They can buy that and a drink and something else and have a little meal when they get to the complex for their games. Adults buy the kitty dogs for themselves, but there's one gentleman, for 2 years now, he'll come up and he'll say, "What is a kitty dog?" And I'll tell him what a kitty dog. He said, "Well, that sounds like a regular hot dog to me." I said, "Well, it is, but we call it a kitty dog." He said, "Well, I'm not a kid, so I don't want the kitty dog, but I want that hot dog." And he would just...
And it's the same hot dog?
It's the same hot dog. But because it's a kitty dog and he's not a kid, he wouldn't call it a kitty dog. He said, "Why don't you name it something else?"
They give you ideas?
He gave me lots of them, naming it after him, naming it after his kid's team, all kinds of names. But it's a smaller hot dog. That's the point I wanted to get across. It's like the size for kids. Because adults, when they order them, they order 2 or 3 at a time for themselves versus getting one jumbo beef dog. So the power of words, man. I know. And if he comes back again this year, I'm still going to have the kitty dog. And he'll probably still order the hot dog that's not a kitty dog.
Oh, well, great topic. But it shows you the power of words.
It does.
And see, when they have these seminars, people have seminars, they have these motivational speakers. Mm-hmm. They talk about saying affirmations, which are supposed to be positive statements. Mm-hmm. And the reason why they do that is because they believe that if you keep repeating these positive things, then they happen in your life, right?
Right.
Well, imagine now that instead of saying positive things, you're saying, well, whatever you say is going to manifest what they're saying. So based on what they're saying, imagine what you're saying are things that are not too helpful for you. Like for this man, he's not a kid, so he doesn't want to go and... See, to me, I'm like, I want to feel like a kid. I'll go get a kitty dog. So perspective also plays a part in it, I guess. Right?
I think so.
But, the power of words can be good, or it could be detrimental. Mm-hmm. And of course, when we have a topic, it's normally about the non-beneficial aspects, right?
Right.
We're like the news media. We don't talk about the positive stuff, I guess. I just thought about that. Or CNBC and...
See, but we talk about the negative things, but how to fix them.
That is true. But
we're always giving help for how to fix it.
Right. Okay. So, now that we're talking about that, how about if we get into... Well, first of all, why are we bringing this up?
Because what you put out about yourself and other people happens, especially if you say it enough. For instance, I'm guilty of this. When I was younger, I used to say, "Oh, I'm so sick of this job. Oh, I'm so sick of this," whatever the situation was be. And I would get sick. In high school, I had strep throat 3 times in one school year. And I know that entire year was a rough year for me, and I know I said a lot. I'm sick of all this bullying. I'm sick of the kids calling me names. I'm sick of the teachers. And what happened? I got sick.
Right. Because you kept proclaiming that you're sick.
I was sick. Now, I don't proclaim that, negate all that I just said,
that's just an
because there was just examples.
Right. Everything we're using here is an example.
Right.
Let's just put it that way so that we get it out.
But people do say that a lot. I'm sick and tired of this, And it's like, wow, you're sick and tired now? Whew. And people are like, I feel tired all the time, but I don't know why. But then they don't listen to what they're programming themselves with. Or they might tell someone, "You make me sick."
Giving somebody's power to make you sick.
Yes.
Wow, that one is really something else.
Yep. I've heard that one a lot.
Now I've heard ones like, "Don't make me mad."
Oh, yes.
Right? Or "You make me mad," or "If you do this, I'll be mad." Then they call it, they said they have a bad temper.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Talk about programming yourself, right?
Indeed. You make me so angry.
So literally what we're saying is you're giving this person, you're handing this person power to make you angry.
That's right.
Because you're literally telling them, you make me angry.
You're allowing those people to dictate your emotions.
Exactly. And to dictate how your entire day goes, I guess.
Exactly.
At that point.
One that I've seen a lot in our society, especially in the school system, when people want you to remember something, they'll say, don't forget.
Exactly.
And as my husband has talked about so many times, what do they hear? They don't hear the word don't, they just hear forget.
Well, it's not them. It's the brain. Remember?
The brain won't hear the word don't, it just hears the word forget.
The brain always negates negativity. It does its best, unless if you keep programming it over and over. So if you said don't something, it remembers the thing that comes after the negative word. Now if you keep saying it over and over, it's a whole different story, right?
Right.
So people wonder, well, why is that kids don't listen? Why are they so hard-headed?
Why do they always forget their homework at home? Well, you tell them, don't forget to bring your homework in.
Like I said, don't forget to do your chore.
Right. Don't forget to take the trash out.
And then they forget and they wonder why. Well, you've been telling them to forget it the whole time.
Now, this is one I personally struggled with a lot. My husband would tell me this a lot shortly after we got married. And it took a while to break that habit because that's what I grew up with. Don't forget, don't forget. But to change it to remember to, and then state what I want them to do. To this day, I've gotten so much better at it, but that's something that you can do to change it for yourself. Remember, and then the person remembers.
Just replace the negative with a positive.
Exactly.
It's really how it goes, right? It's that. It's really that straightforward. It might seem complicated, and in the beginning, if you're used to using a lot of negative words, then it's hard to find a positive one. See, the only reason why people curse is because they're used to negativity.
And when you say curse, you're meaning like swear words, just to make sure that's very clear. Okay.
Yes. When they swear. That's why when people, that's another one people say, what do they say?
I swear, if you don't get out of this room.
And what do I normally tell them?
Why are you going to swear?
No, I said, don't swear. Why? Exactly. I said,
why are you going to swear?
Right?
You don't have to swear.
Exactly. Because I'm thinking it's a bad word. And of course, again, that's what normally it is, right?
Oh, another good one. I know when I've told my husband, or he's told me stories that are kind of unbelievable in a way and just shocking, I'll say, get out of here, and he will literally leave the room.
That was in the beginning, not now.
He doesn't do that now, right? But in the beginning, he would leave the room and go, why did you leave the room? He said, well, you told me to get out of here. I was like, that's a figure of speech. So, well, I thought you meant it literally. You said get out of here. I said, well, let me change that. That was a very interesting story. Did that really happen? Instead of saying, get out of here.
That's funny. I thought you were asking me if that really happened.
No, I know that really happened. But the story, I've had to change the way I've changed the way I speak. I didn't have to, but I changed the way I speak because I realized even using the words I am, okay, and this might...
That's extremely important.
It's very important because when I learned, because I actually read this in the Bible. Yes, I read a part of the Bible, but it was a small part. It was about Moses and the...
You've read a lot of parts of the Bible now, so...
I know. But when Moses meets the burning bush, and Moses asks the name, and God says, I am that I am. I was like... mind blown.
Do you know that there's a song? You know Bob Marley is, right?
I know Bob Marley.
And Peter Tosh.
I'm familiar with them. I don't know them.
Yeah, because I play the music, right?
Yes.
The Caribbean boy. Anyway, there is a song, a Peter Tosh song, and it goes, I am that I am. So every time I hear I am, I'm thinking, that boy must be smoking ganja.
Well, okay, getting back to the point of my story, so knowing that I am is God's name, every time I use the phrase I am, I become so conscious of what I'm putting in front of that, because basically to me it's like saying God within me. God is.
Well, that is what you're saying.
And that's exactly what we're saying. So and I hear a lot of kids say, oh, I'm just stupid, explaining things, or it's my bad, but using the word I am, they use it a lot.
They say I am sick.
Right, I am sick, and But anytime you use the word I am and there's something negative after it, you're basically saying God is. And
Well, how about if we change that and get them to understand that every time they say I am represents, like you said earlier, the God presence within you.
yes.
That's the presence of God inside of you. So whenever you use that term, I am, think about that. You're not talking about yourself only. You're talking about the presence of God within you. So all of a sudden, your perspective changes when you use that word, because every time you say I am, God is never negative. I know that you're saying God is.
Yep.
Right? So you say God is happy. Right? So you say I am happy. You know?
See, one that people I hear a lot right now saying, I'm broke. I am
right.
broke.
People say that too. I am hopeless.
Yes. Well, how about I am wealthy, or I am always full of abundance, or something like that. Change it. And you know what? It catches people off guard too. Especially when you ask them, how are you doing? Most people have that candid response, fine, okay, good. Well, my husband taught me years ago, ask why. And when you do, you get to hear what their real mental status is based on what they say next. So make sure what you say is always positive about you.
You know when you started experimenting with that? We were in an elevator and I told my wife, she was not my wife then, we were just business partners, but I told her, try this. People in the elevator will just stand there. And we got into the elevator and my wife said, how are you doing? And the person said, okay. I already told you, just ask the person why. Remember that? You remember?
I don't remember the first time, no, but I know I've used it a lot.
Okay, how do they normally respond or react when you ask them why? And it doesn't matter what response they give you, right? Just
right, they
why.
usually stutter and have to stop and think. And they'll say, I'm just okay. Well, why are you just okay? I guess I'm fine today. Like they struggle to be able to explain why they're okay or why they're fine or good.
And then what happens, especially when I have conversations with them, what happens by the time we're finished?
Gosh, they start telling us their life stories almost.
But then they're fine, right?
But then they're really fine.
I
They'll be smiling.
I guess I'm fine. I guess I'm great.
Uh-huh.
Because we change it.
Right.
We force people to change that. And these are strangers. We don't even know these individuals. You know, so this is a mission that we're on. We want to help people to change the way they look at things and how they program themselves.
And how they speak about others as well.
You know, the computer is supposed to be, how do I say, built based on the human brain. And no matter how advanced the computer gets, it still can't function like the human brain. We have the most complicated and powerful supercomputer anybody can ever think of. Yet still, we program it with nonsense all the time.
Yes.
See, and the difference is that if you program a computer with nonsense, it gives you nonsense right away, so you know that it doesn't work. Well, your supercomputer does the same thing, except it does it immediately as well in real life. You just don't realize that you're the one programming it.
Right.
You are a programmer. You're a live programmer, programming every second of the day. Make sure you program positive things.
What you think and what you speak about yourself. And, you know, I had just thought here about something that people tell themselves a lot. I'm just that way.
Oh, that's right.
People say that so often. Oh, that's just me. No, it's not just you. And you can change. Start with the words that come out of your mouth.
Because they are powerful. I've also heard people say things like, I know I shouldn't say this, but, and then they say something negative after it. Or they say, I know I shouldn't feel this way, but, and then they say, but I'm sick, I'm sick of this, or whatever it is, right?
I don't want to do this.
It comes to the same
negative.
thing. You know, you have to make it positive. You have to make it positive. Change it. So, for example, if we're talking, I know that if you're saying something I find it interesting, I might say, oh, that's interesting. But instead of saying that's interesting, I say, oh, that's funny that you would say that. And then I always ask people, what's so funny about it? Why aren't you laughing? Right? And then they'll say, no, I don't mean that funny. I mean it's interesting. Then why don't you say so?
Right.
Why don't you say it's interesting?
Exactly. Say exactly what you mean. Instead of using sarcasm or phrases that people use commonly, like my bad. Oh, a glass falls on the floor. Oh, that's my bad. What's your bad? I don't understand. How is that bad? Just a glass fell. Okay, if it happened because you did that, just say, oh, that's my mistake, not my bad. And then you just clean it up.
Well, I don't believe in mistakes, so I'd like
That
to...
was my accident?
No. See, first of
Happy
all,
accidents?
you shouldn't... You know, one of the things we learned from this master is that we don't own anything.
True.
So then we don't say things like my, right?
Mm-hmm.
So next thing is, I don't believe there's any such thing as a mistake. I believe that everything is a learning experience. So if something falls to the floor and it breaks, they just say, oh, let me clean it up. I apologize for making a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Done. But it's not a mistake. So then I learn next time not to hold the cup from the bottom when there's hot water in it, because it's going to burn my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Or I learn to hold the glass tighter when it's wet.
Or to put it more onto the table instead of at the edge of the table, whatever it might be.
So there's always a lesson to learn.
Mm-hmm.
But if every time something comes up, we're looking for the negative in it, then we've programmed ourselves to always receive negative things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the way it goes. I remember a long time ago, and you knew me at this time, when I was still single. I was... Maybe I was missing a female partner or something, I don't know. But I used to get a lot of tickets. Remember that? I would get, no matter what happened, I would be getting a ticket.
Speeding tickets.
Speeding ticket, parking tickets, all the time. It got to the point where I got paranoid. I'm like, I want to get a ticket.
Waiting for me.
Exactly, right? So what happened? Because I kept thinking about getting a ticket, I would get a ticket. It was ridiculous. Almost every month or every 2 weeks or so, I was getting a ticket for some ridiculous something. But that's because I put it up there.
Right.
And now, I never blamed the police officers because I knew that I was the one attracting it based on what I was saying, what I was putting out there. It's time for people to look at their lives and see what they're getting. What is it they're getting into their lives?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you keep getting the same thing over and over, it's because you're attracting it. You're pulling it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And the way you're doing that is by the things you're saying and by the expectations that you are having.
Mm-hmm.
And believe me, it starts with words. You know, that's where it starts. Have you ever heard people say, and I always tell people this, oh yes, you are a psychic. You could start your own psychic show. Because what did they say? They said, I knew it. I knew it was going to happen. I told you so. How did they know it was going to happen?
Because they already programmed themselves about it.
They kept saying it over and over, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to fail this test. I'm going to fail this test.
And then as soon as they fail it, I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not smart enough for this class. No, you programmed yourself to fail.
Well, listen to what they just said. I'm not smart enough to pass the class.
You just programmed yourself that you're not smart enough and you're going to fail. Now, see, that's interesting because, one last example. I know we're running low on time. But in school, I never really did well on tests. I could do really good on the homework, but testing just, I really did not really do ever well. And then when it came time for me to take the Series 6 exam, my husband was not my husband at the time. He was just my branch manager. And I had been talking with him about how to take the test successfully. I had done all the practice tests. I had studied and studied, but I had taken it 2 times before and failed each time. So I was just thinking, I'm probably going to fail again. And my husband said, no, you've got to change the way you're thinking. Feel like it's already done, know it's already done, and visualize yourself in that position where you've already passed. So the day before the test, he told me, don't do anything, just relax, go out, do something fun with your friends, whatever you're going to do, just make sure you have a relaxing day. So I did. The morning of the test, I said, all right, I'm going to do exactly what my husband said. I'm going to psych myself out about this, and I know I'm going to pass this test. So the entire way driving to the testing center, I did. I was just like, I can't believe I passed the test. Yes, I passed. I was so excited in my car, yelling with the windows rolled down so people could even hear me.
Acting like a nut.
Yes, and then I got to the testing center in the parking lot, and I called my husband and I said, guess what? And he said, yes, you're calling me early in the morning. What's wrong? I said, no, I passed the test. And he said, that's great. Bring me your paper. I said, I will once I finish the test. So that was it. We said goodbye.
And you passed the test?
I passed the test. And that afternoon, I drove to the office and gave him my past exam notification. But it's all about how you program yourself. The 2 times before, I already programmed myself. Oh, I'm so bad at tests. I can't do this. I'm not going to make it through. I don't understand this information. But that one time, even though I didn't think I knew the information, I did, and I got it done. The power of our words.
Exactly. And also know that the words are even more powerful based on the strength of the emotions that are tied to the words.
Yes.
It's also very important. Because if you insult somebody and say, oh, you're stupid, and there's a lot of anger behind that, it's worse than just say, oh, you're stupid, and you're saying in a laughing manner, because the energy is not as negative. It's still bad, but not as negative as one where the anger is tied to it.
Right.
And this is why we should always just put things out there that we want. The way I've always told people is this. I said, listen, focus on what it is that you desire. That's it. Only that. When you talk about what you want. All right? No matter what's going on in front of you. I don't care what's happening. Maybe you have all these things happening. It feels like your world is falling apart. Maybe you can't pay your bills. It's not happening. Your car is broken down. But you know that your car is fine. All right? All the bills are paid. You know that. It's just, it's taken care of. And the moment you do that, and no matter what happens, you stick with that, you'll be fine. But if you fall back into the thing, wow, I don't know how I'm going to do this, then you open yourself up to that possibility that again, it's not going to happen. And that's why you have to focus only on what it is that you want. No matter what's in front of you, as the Buddhists always say, life is a mirage. Everything in life is a mirage, which means what you see in front of you is not real. It's like the Matrix, that movie Matrix, right? What you see is not real at all, and you have to know that your eyes can be deceived very easily. Right? That's why magicians do so well. It's not magic, it's just trickery to the eyes. So you have to program yourself to know that you're more powerful than anything else going on in front of you. And what you think you see, because what you think you see is not real anyway. Just like you have a shirt on right now, looks like it's green, but you know that if we turn the lights off, it won't look green anymore.
No, it will be black. Everything will be dark.
It's all based on what's in front of you. Right? So folks, improve on the way you talk. Make it all positive. Find positive words only to say. No matter how you're feeling, and if you have nothing nice to say, then just be quiet. Don't say a thing. Take some deep breaths and be quiet. Because only positive things will make you go where you're supposed to go and accomplish what you're supposed to accomplish.
There are so many examples to give, but I think we've given enough for now. And if you felt that this video has helped you, please be sure to share it, like it, subscribe. Find us in our Facebook group, Clearing, Healing, and Guidance. And Instagram, it's 190 Vision, and our website, 190vision.com.